Hello, the game has started and it's my opponent to go first. I have a pretty good rack. Almost airborne. If the E were, well, not quite, but anyway. Boreen, I believe, is good, and Borain. Or what about just playing off OBE? RANE, a good four-letter set, but Borain scores quite well. And do I go with this? Yes, I think I do. I was just thinking, did I have anaerobe? No, I don't think I did. I draw the Z, which is always a good scoring tile. And I have blaze down onto the double word square. I have craze as a 5-letter play. But I'd like to undouble the L's. Wow, neatness. Nice score by opponent. Now, looking at Z hotspots. And I do have lays. Well, let's look at the 4-timer option, because this O is quite well positioned for this rack. Let's see. Calor, no. Not seeing it. What about the T? No, unlikely. The O looks more likely to yield a 4-timer. But I'm not seeing it. So let's go with lays for 47. Not bad. B and C a little bit clunky together, but it's not too bad all in all. I have the able ending. Barnacle through an I. No I available. What about, okay, opponent plays yen. Now, Bransel, no, that's not a thing. The O looks pretty useful with this rack. I have the con prefix. I don't think cornable. Be clamor, no. Right, so I don't see a bingo. What about a 4-timer? And the S's I haven't considered. Well, there's also the E at the bottom here. Okay, not seeing any great plays. What about Crab over here? Crab and Blaze. It feels suboptimal, but I'm going with this. Right, not bad. I've got some vowels and consonants, so lead men. Is that a thing? Lead men. That did play before Crab was placed, because iron is good. Yen takes E front hooks. Okay, lager. Now the board closing up a little bit. Now what about the B? I've got the BE prefix, which sometimes yields a bingo. Belamed. No. Okay, not seeing a 7 here. And the S's, yeah, not seeing anything with them either. What about mead for 30? Yeah, going with mead. So I've drawn the F and the W. Opponent plays fairly quickly there. And I've got a good overlap here with floor for 48. Is there a better play? And is there a bingo? I don't see one, but let's have a quick look. No, not seeing. The S is still there. So I've got the snow component of a word. And the self prefix. No, not seeing anything. I'm going with floor for 48. Board quite tight now. Wow, nice bingo by opponent. Suddenly opens up. So there's a hotspot here at J14, which a Q could benefit from, as well as a K. This rack not great at all. What about Gi? Yeah, it takes out a hotspot and it scores reasonably well considering that I've only got 1 and 2 point tiles. So, not a great rack. The F and the V don't go hugely well together. Opponent plays webbed, and I've got the O hook here to make XO. Could play foin. Got flag here, but that's where the story ends. So what about foin? I think it takes an E as well, but I'll hang on to the E. Foin for 24. Or what about envoy? .26, better score, and yeah, I can utilize the F alongside envoy potentially next turn. Not great. I now have 3 eyes. I only had 1 after playing envoy, so I picked up a further 2 eyes. I do have Tori on my rack, Tori, and I can play that here. One way to get rid of a few eyes, and this sets up my F as well, so I'll go ahead. Wow, I draw the second blank. That's nice to see. I thought opponent might be nursing it. Now there are a fair few words ending in IFY. None coming to mind with this rack. Opponent exchanges 4. I don't have any front hooks for Ado. Nothing really great with the F here. I suppose I could play FY, but that does give an easy-ish score to opponent. Or does it? He'd have to have an S or a vowel. I don't think it's overly dangerous. 29's a good score as well. Is there something safer I can do that scores similarly? No, I'm going with this. Wow, okay, this is interesting. I thought I had apiaries, but that's a 9. Now, periest. Is that a thing? Periest. No. Orangiest, but not periest. Apparient. Yeah, that works. Okay, I've got the out prefix. Quite low on time as well. And I've got the S, which is handy because I can pluralize if. Okay, opponent plays quip. So do I play... trying parallel plays solve, but then I keep 2 U's, or Oh, that's a terrible rack leave, but a good score. Solve for 29. Equip is good. What about just sow for 20? Get rid of one of the U's. No, I think I'll keep the score ticking along. 29. Okay, opponent plays quickly. Clag is good, but that's where the story ends. Now I've got Q and equip. I think I'll play a little bit faster because I'm down to 47 seconds. A Gouty is good, but does it play anywhere? And what is opponent going to do with this J? A Gouty. Teo. I've got Teo, but I'd like to. That's only 14. What can I do with the G? Gore, G-A-U. Oh, I don't want to leave the A for the J. I could play just IT there. I'm just mindful of the time, but also the J. I don't want to give an easy J spot. Not seeing any great Toga. It's pretty weak, but not a plethora of opportunities on this board. Tattoo. At least that ensures that I go out in 2, and it doesn't give anything back for the J. So tattoo for 10 or Teo, but then I don't think I can go out with GIU either. I think tattoo or Gore. No, I can't do Gore. What to do here? A riot I could do. A riot 10, but then what do I do with GOU? So tattoo is the one I'm looking at, or maybe a word ending in IC. No. Okay, opponent plays Doc, so he's trying to, don't know what he's trying to do. I'm just going to go with tattoo. And then at least I can go out with GI next turn in the top right or on the left here. So GI for 10. Or GI for 9. Anything more than 9? Opponent taking some time with this rack, trying to get rid of the heavyweights, but a pretty tight board. Opponent down to 3 minutes. Hopefully he makes a move shortly. And then we can have a look at the analysis. Opponent seems to have disappeared. I'll just check that he's still with us. Oh, he is still there. That's good. And we'll just wait for him to make his final move. And he plays Joe. So I'll just place GI up there, and that's the end of the game. 443 to 371. Thank my opponent for the game. Let's see what we missed. Go back to the beginning. So opponent had this rack and exchanged. Interesting. I did not have a bingo, but I went with Borain. Now opponent's got a lovely rack here, goes with neatness, and lays for 47 was simming best. Now look at these plays, wow. Lang sign in 2 different spots. That's not one you see every day. Lang sign. Now, no bingo here. I did take some time because I felt it was close. Baconer. There was a 4-timer. So I seem to have missed out on that one. And I went with crab. Now, Langurs is a type of monkey, I think, through a U, but no playable bingos. Opponent goes with Largo, and now enameled, I should say. Yeah, that's a shame to have missed that. Enameled. Okay. So that was a miss. Went with Mead for a pretty decent score, mind you. I'll just go back. Enamel. Meal. Okay. So Mead was 30. Now, opponent had Nixes on offer for 47. Went with X. And look at that, snow flea. Wow, there was a snow word. I even mentioned snow as the component, but I just did not know snow flea was a word, and I do now. So, then opponent's got, I played floor, opponent had shinnies for 86 and takes the lead by about 50. And I've got this rack to deal with, so it's looking kind of bleak. Aigner did cross my mind, the word, but I didn't see a spot for it. That scored quite well. And then Guy, I went with Guy. Yep. Now opponent's got 25 Jet for 33. Wow. Okay, not a great rack leave, but a good score. Goes with Wept for 26 and Envoy for 26, but View simming best. Yep, not a bad rack leave considering the starting point. I went with Envoy and Jump 31 opponent had onto the P here. He went with Moo, and then Torai is simming best. Opponent now has a bit of a horror show. Goes with an exchange. And Yippee through 2 disconnected floaters. Wow, that looks good for 42. Gives back a little bit of a score there. But keeping the blank and the EF, that's a superb play. I went with FY. And opponent's got some scoring potential, but the highest score on offer, Chi, and yeah, it doesn't really make sense to do that with 2 eyes and a blank remaining. So opponent goes with Tro, and then I've got Apparient or Repairer. Okay, getting the P tripled, yeah. But Apparient, safer play. Quip for 35, opponent gets the top one there. And Uveus, I was trying to find a word that could incorporate the U and the V and the O, but Uveus, very nice. 36 points. Uveus. Or Uveus, I don't know how it's pronounced, but that's a good play. Jack for 40 and Ablaze, very nice. Opponent goes with Dad, and look at that, Outblaze. You can extend for 20, but that just gives useful vowels for opponent to utilize when the remaining pool is vowel dry, so that doesn't make sense. Opponent did have a decent J play, Codger for 29, albeit giving back easy score to me, or Codger, a little bit safer, 1 square down. And Doc comes down, and then Outer for 31. Wow, look at that. Ablaze, we both missed it. Outer. And I went with Tattoo to ensure a 2 move out. And then, yeah, opponent goes with Joe, and then Guy for 10. So, yeah, pretty interesting game, that one. A couple of misses as usual. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.